right, so some stars are finding themselves in the middle of the Ukraine conflict in Russia. Many of you have seen the photos. Sean Penn was at a press briefing yesterday in Kyiv. He's there filming a documentary. He was also seen speaking with Ukraine's president in a video that was posted on the president's official Instagram account. And former Dancing with the Stars pro Max Chmerkovskiy, sorry about that, has been posting videos from his home country since the invasion started, but said he also has no plans to flee. Watch.
I'm not currently trying to leave. I'm staying here. I'm going to do my best to make sure that I'm as safe as possible, but I'm not moving towards the border currently. I heard not safe, and they're also reporting that it's quite dangerous, and there are a lot of just senseless activity going on outside of war stuff.
And Max's wife, Peta, also posted a message on Instagram pleading for his safe return to the U.S. He also went on talking about how he has PTSD that he thought he recovered from growing up in Ukraine with all the turmoil. And now that he's there, it's full force. My heart broke for not only him, but again, when you're a wife or a child back home,
I couldn't imagine.
Helpless.
I couldn't imagine, just like what these, and it's that trauma, because, you know, we're assuming and hoping that everybody makes it through this safely. But I mean, just because you're still alive physically doesn't mean that the scars aren't going to be with you forever. And now you're putting trauma on top of trauma. I don't even know how much research we have for that in terms of how much war people can take over the course of. He's a young man.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really scary.
I don't think the video shows enough the meaning behind that. I'm stuck in a country that Russia is bombing right now, and I don't know if I could get to the border while my wife reaches out and says, I want you home safely. Like, he was very calm in that video, but the reality of the situation is not so calm.
That's actually really interesting you say that. They say that Holocaust survivors and anyone with PTSD or strong trauma just get really flat and have sort of a flat affect. And I think you see it's survival mode. There's no other way to do it. You either go and break down or you just go and do your job, which is unbelievable. Unbelievable.
And speaking of doing their job, Sean Penn, I mean, wow, that guy.
The El Chapo, now this.
Always there.
Walking the walk. I mean, that guy's there.
He's been doing it for decades, and just nobody gives him credit. So we do. Meantime, some stars are facing backlash for having missed the mark with their social media posts. But did they really? We're going to talk about that. Okay, so let's take a look and see. First, friend of the show, actress AnnaLynne McCord, posted a poem to Russian President Vladimir Putin. Watch.
If I was your mother, you would have been so loved, held in the arms of joyous light. Never would the stories plight the world unfurled before our eyes, a pure demise of nations sitting peaceful under a night sky. If I was your mother, the world would have been warm.
What do you think? Cringy, or is she trying to make a point?
I think she's speaking from her heart. I don't think she's trying to offend anybody, and this is how she communicates. To me, not cringy at all. She's trying to help, but other people might look on to this and say, how dare you? I don't know what they would say. To me, not cringy.
How dare you don't grieve like I do.
Yeah, it's not the same.
That's what I got from it. You know, and Tori, I want to hear what you feel about it. I think some people attack hate with equal amounts of hate, like you hate me, I hate you, and here are the reasons why I'm justified in that. And some people meet that same amount of hate with love. There's always that famous picture of the person putting the rose in the soldier's rifle. I believe that was Kent State, I believe. And so, you know, I think that things like that are always judged differently. Somebody could look at that photo and be like, you need a bullet for that gun, not a rose. I mean, that's a valid reason too, but you don't attack the person for trying to do right.
Especially when it's like artistic, right? Like that was her spoken word, that's her art, that's how she deals. I think what rubbed people a little cringy is trying to humanize Putin is sort of not the way I think most people want to go. To me, Putin is a war criminal. He's like Hitler. And to be like, had I been your mother, you would have been loved, felt a little like Kendall Jenner with the Pepsi can. Do you know what I mean?
I know between the two of them, and I have to say this because I've known AnnaLynne for 20 plus years. This is a girl that grew up literally on the streets in a trailer, ran away from home at 15, has seen, not to compare it all to what people are going through in Ukraine, but a lot of people look at her and they say, really beautiful, famous actress. And unfortunately, they don't understand the hustle that she has had to endure and the trauma also. She told our show, I'm not saying this for her, a victim of sexual abuse, someone that has been there on the front lines in other countries helping refugees and also helping sex traffic victims personally. This is someone, in my opinion, who not only was trying to poetically speak about if you hurt people, to Jeff's point, but I also think there's a dig there. AnnaLynne is very smart. She knows that Vladimir Putin has a lot of ego. She also, in my opinion, wanted to be like, this is a hurt child, which is the worst thing Vladimir Putin wants to be compared to, is this little baby child with a soft ego. So I think there's many layers to her poem, and I think people don't see it because of her aesthetic, unfortunately.
That's interesting. That's really interesting.
Okay. This is interesting. I can't wait to hear your points of view. Joy Behar, if you guys have seen it, she's getting slammed after complaining that the conflict may interfere with her travel plans. Watch.
Well, I'm scared of what's going to happen in Western Europe, too.
Yeah.
You know, you plan a trip, you want to go there. I want to go to Italy for 4 years. I haven't been able to make it because of the pandemic. And now this, it's like, what's going to happen there?
Yeah.
Too.
What do you think, Al? Oh, and then Jeff.
No, Jeff, I didn't think it was a great take, Jeff. When you're on a show to have takes, that was not the best one. I think that she was trying to personalize it, but I think she personalized it to herself, which is it's an army of one. Very few people live that lifestyle of a planned Italy vacation. And I think she was trying to relate to her audience, but it came off beyond tone deaf and was starting to wade into the realm of offensive, even though I don't think that was her intention. I think she totally missed with that. Absolutely.
Yeah, I didn't mean to jump in on Joy, because I'm not. I mean,
right.
I have sympathy for her and what she says on TV, because sometimes you don't think it through. But as a person of America, this is exactly what I mean with that with that warm, cozy blanket, right? You get so comfortable, the things that come out of your mouth make sense in your world, right? And again, I'm not knocking Joy because she built her career up to where it is. But she's at a place right now where maybe these things aren't affecting her the same way it would if you were at street level, right? And I say things all the time out of context on this show again. But it's like, as Americans, we're very comfortable where we're at when we're complaining about everything else in the world, what's going on, who should be hosting The Bachelor, and there's tragedy around the world.
Tori, I want to get your opinion on this last one. John Cena faced some heat online after people said he used the situation in Ukraine to promote his HBO show Peacemaker. When he tweeted, quote, "If I could somehow summon the powers of a real-life peacemaker, I think this would be a great time to do so." What did you think, Tori?
I mean, talk about tone deaf. In the middle of a war, I watched a NICU be put into a makeshift bomb shelter, and they're squeezing these little babies, and he's hashtagging his plug for his movie. John Cena is a great guy. He has done, I believe, more Make-A-Wishes than any human being on earth. I'm not putting it down. But that was a shameless plug, and you exploited people in war. And I think that he should just straight up say, I'm sorry, and move on. Because I think that was pretty tone deaf.